I'm going to mute myself for now, okay?
Yeah, you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey everyone, and welcome to Gupshup's webinar on how to build and deploy a bot on Slack. I'm Sohan Maheshwar. I lead developer relations at Gupshup, and with me is Shreyans Farshakiti, developer evangelist at Gupshup, and you can see our Twitter handles right there. So for today's agenda, we're going to talk a little bit about Slack and how they have support for apps and bots in Slack. We're going to talk a little bit about types of messages on Slack, what the opportunities are for developers such as yourself, in building apps and bots for Slack, and then we'll give you a small demo on how it works. Right, without further ado, a little bit about Slack first. Slack, if you haven't heard of it, and I'd be very surprised if you haven't, is a team collaboration tool. It's valued at over $9 billion according to some reports. It's been the darling of Silicon Valley over the last couple of years. One of the reasons is it has 5 million daily active users, which is a lot, and 1.5 million paying users, which seems to be like the holy grail when you actually have paying users in a product such as Slack. I personally use Slack at a lot of workplaces and organizations, and even when I want to interact with some products that have like Slack instances, and I can vouch for the fact that it's an excellent tool, especially when you have like distributed teams and want more collaboration within your team, right? So one of the reasons why Slack actually got really popular is the fact that you have bots and apps on Slack. The terminology might be a little confusing, so listen carefully. So essentially, apps on Slack exist to enhance the functionality to a channel, or which enable you to do something that goes outside of just messaging. Right, so there are three ways to integrate with Slack within a bot. One is through notifications, one is through slash commands, and one is through a bot itself. Right, so these three ways can be packaged within an app for you to integrate with, to enhance functionality. Most people choose the option of the slash command or the bot because that's the easiest and most intuitive for a user. Slack also has an app directory which is similar to like a app store sort of funder. So the app directory now includes more than 1,000 apps, and 200 out of which are used by more than 1,000 teams across the world, which is a really impressive number if you look at it. So there is support for bots on Slack, and later on Shreyans will show you a demo on how you can actually build a bot. Essentially, what bot users are, they're part of a Slack app like anyone else. You can they look and feel like any other user on Slack. They have profile photos, names, bios. They exist in the team directory, so which means you can mention them or direct message them. The bot can post messages, can upload files, and they can be added or kicked out of channels and private groups as well. Similar to how you would react with any other user. It's important to note that the pricing works differently. The pricing of a bot isn't included as a pricing of a user would. So you can, if you on the price tier, you can add as many bots as you want. On the free tier, if you are on the free Slack tier, you can add up to 10 bots. There are two types of Slack bots. One is called a custom bot, and one is called an app bot. We spoke earlier about what an app bot is. Essentially, the difference between a custom bot and an app bot is this. Right? So say you want a bot that is unique only to say your organization or your Slack instance, you can create your own bot and deploy to your instance, and it wouldn't be accessible by people outside of your org. Right? So maybe it's like a survey you want to run within your company, or you just want to post photos when a user says something, or you just want to, maybe track how many times a user, like your colleagues, say like a particular keyword or something like that. That is a custom bot. If you want to package that same bot and distribute it to other teams outside of your Slack instance to use, you will have to package it within an app. That's called an app bot, and then you can put it on the Slack app directory and other people can use it. So that's the sort of key differentiator here. The terminology is slightly confusing, but essentially you have custom bots and app bots. If you want other teams to use it, add those app bots to an app and put that app on the Slack app directory. So to integrate, to speak to a bot, essentially if you're a bot maker, you will have to use the real-time messaging API, right, which opens up a WebSocket connection with Slack, and any message that goes which is sent or received, you can actually get and then respond to via this API. There's another sort of API called the Events API, which you can subscribe to specific events and messages, and Slack will send only those to yourself. Right, so events can range from creation of new channel, deletion of new channel, users joined, users left. They have, like, Slack actually has a very large number of options for events, and any of these can trigger a webhook which actually sends a message to your server, and you can choose to do something. When we do the Gupshup integration, we largely use the RTM messaging, the RTM API, which is a real-time messaging API. Here are some of the popular Slack bots if you already haven't used them. I think Meekin is one of the most popular, which really simplifies creating meetings and scheduling meetings with your colleagues, a task which is actually quite painful if you have to do it manually. They claim to have analyzed and scheduled about 50 million meetings so far, which is a staggering number. Digbot is a pretty cool bot. I mean, I'm sure you all have heard of Dig back in the day, which used to be like a great source of news. They're doing bots in a huge way, and their bots are actually pretty cool. Tetra is a pretty interesting bot where you can create internal wikis based on what the users are telling each other. StatsBot is a cool bot that has integration with like Google Analytics, Twitter Analytics, Mixpanel, and a whole bunch of analytics. So you can actually just ping the bot and saying, "Hey StatsBot, tell me how many new users this week," and it will give you like a bunch of numbers and things like that. Donut is a pretty cool bot to use. The picture is not up, but it's a pretty cool bot to use when you have a really large organization. Every day it introduces you to a colleague and facilitates conversation so that you can meet people outside of your team within your organization. Maybe I can quickly show you a demo of how these Slack bots work. This is a general Slack instance, and I've added a bot called Polly. So Polly is a pretty popular bot, and what it does essentially is create polls that you can have within your organization. So this is my general channel. So I'm just going to invoke Polly by saying /poll, and I can just enter the question, like saying this Friday, followed by the options, right? So yay or nay, right? And I hit enter, and it gives like a preview of how it would look. I can make the poll multiple choice, open-ended, agree, disagree, maybe, right? Yeah, or I can just make it multiple choice. I can choose, yeah, there you go. And the poll is done, right? Let me just do that again. Lunch this Friday, yay or nay. Right? I can just hit submit to a channel, and then the poll is there in the channel, right? So other people can vote on it, and it gives the results right there. There you go. So that's pretty much how most Slack bots work. It's a mixture of text messages and what is called interactive messages. So what you saw there right now, which is like a button and a menu within a message, is called an interactive message. Right, so an interactive message is used in a lot of messaging apps nowadays, pretty much all of them, including Facebook Messenger, Kik, Viber, Telegram. They all support buttons and menus within messaging. Mainly it is to, really guide the user in a certain way and not leave things open-ended. A lot of times I think it's just easier to interact with via a button or a menu within a messaging app. Right, so the great thing about the interactive message on Slack is users interact with these messages, and the messages can actually evolve over time. Like for instance, if you see the GIF at the bottom of your screen, once the user hits approve, you can actually change that to okay, XYZ has approved the request. One thing to note is you do need a request URL to enable interactive messages in your app or your bot. This is provided by gupshup when you are actually integrating with gupshup. Right, so let's talk a little bit about what opportunities there are for developers who want to build bots and apps on Slack. Right, the one easiest opportunity, and I've done this internally as well, is to build custom bots. So essentially, when you want to achieve something specific within your own org, you can build like a quick sort of bot that interacts within your company. Right, that could be something that could be fun or playful, to also maybe improve some process internally, automate something internally. You can also choose to build an app bot, which is to distribute your bot to other teams via a Slack app. Most Slack apps currently are free. I'm not sure Slack puts a restriction on whether you can pay or not, but right now almost all the Slack apps are free. But you can integrate payments into a Slack app as well. Right? PayPal has an integration. So say you offer a service for which users have to pay, like maybe it's a taco ordering thing, you can actually integrate like a payment flow into it so that users can pay through the Slack instance, and you can collect money in exchange for the service. It's also worth noting in terms of opportunities that Slack has a Slack Fund that they started late 2015. It's pretty cool that Slack has been in the bot game, since late 2015, and they really saw the whole paradigm shift to bots happening. They invest in startups that are actually building tools on top of Slack, and they're working with famous VCs such as KPCB and Andreessen Horowitz. They made 32 investments since December 2015. It's a large number, almost 100 million worth investments. And Polly, the bot that I just showed you, is one of the Slack Fund investors. A bunch of others like Twine and Growbot and StatsBot and Howdy and etc. are really popular, and you should check it out and maybe even integrate it with your Slack instances. So these are the opportunities. A couple of tips maybe first before you can build your own bot, which Shreyans will show soon. A lot of Slack bots, I think, since they aim to take away from the drudgery of everyday work, they have like a very cool personality. Even Polly does have like a great personality, so it's very cool to actually add a personality to a bot. It makes things lively. It goes with the whole vibe of how Slack is designed and the icons and the text and the typography. But let's not overdo it, right? So don't add too much of a personality where it takes away from the experience of the bot itself. Be brief and clear with your text and your words. It's okay to rewrite a lot of these things and do a lot of copy editing for your conversation. Essentially, when it comes to a bot, your conversation is the input and the output. Your conversation is the interface. So it's really important to really nail that. One good way, again, which is a tip, most of these tips are from the Slack page itself, but one good tip that they've suggested is to actually do like a two-way talk, speak your conversations out loud to actually see if it makes sense. A lot of bots use emojis, but sometimes tend to overuse it where they actually replace words with it. Maybe not everyone's familiar with it, so stick to using words, but don't replace words with emojis. And most importantly, Slack users can be across the world, especially in a large organization, and very large distributed teams. You have people across the world, so make sure you build for a diverse range of people. That could be from not overdoing the cultural references, being sensitive to like race, ethnicity, genders, not overusing acronyms and not assuming people know acronyms, to also building for connections that might not be the strongest, or building for something that would work well even on a mobile, because not everyone has like the greatest internet connection. At the end of the day, you want your team across the world to be productive and to reply and not feel like, especially in a remote team, not feel distant from the team. Right, so do take all these things into consideration while building like a good Slack bot. Right, we're going to talk a little bit about the gupshup Slack integration. I will hand it over to my colleague Shreyans. Over to you, Shreyans. I'm going to make you the presenter. There you go.
Thanks, Rohan. Let me just go ahead and share my screen. Give me just a moment. My presentation is hanged. I'm not sure why. Just a moment. Yeah, I hope you guys are able to see my screen. Yeah,
yep, so go ahead.
Yeah. Just put this up. So yeah. So thanks, Sohan. It was really interesting to know about Slack, and let's go ahead and understand about Gupshup's integration with Slack. Before that, let's just talk briefly about Gupshup. I'm pretty sure most of you might have heard about Gupshup and might have already attended our previous webinars, etc. So Gupshup is a bot building platform, and you can build one bot and publish it on multiple channels. That includes Slack. And we all at Gupshup, we also provide you multiple tools, to actually build your bot. So we have tools for developers, we have tools for non-developers, we have tools for small businesses, everything. And also we also have a tool, we also have our own NLP API, which you should check out. So we have done webinars on all of these. You can go to our webinar page and check out all the videos of all the webinars which we have done, or you can go to gupshup.io and check out the product tab. Right, so we offer, as you know, we offer tools for complete life cycle, where we give you an ID to develop, we give you testing tools to test out your bot before actually going and publishing on a channel and making it live to the users. We help you with, we have tools for analytics, monitoring, and etc. So yeah, now for Slack, Slack has, as Sohan was telling, Slack, you should so you can send emojis, you can add emojis to be more interactive, you can have interactive messages, and also at Gupshup we support the text, which is like, yeah, hi, hello, any normal text which a user would enter. We also support image, so you can send an image to the user, you can send an audio, you can send a video to the user, as well as the interactive messages which contains the buttons. So in our demo, we'll go ahead and look at utilizing a couple of them. So let's get straight to the demo. What we'll do is we'll actually develop a bot, kind of a hello world bot, and then I'll show you how you can go ahead and send an attachment. Post that, we'll actually try and build kind of a currency, publish the bot, and then try build a currency converter bot, sort of. So let me just go ahead and switch over to the browser. So this is gupshup.io, and you can actually log in using GitHub or Facebook. So I'm already logged in here. And under product tab, again, you will actually see all the products and everything which we have to offer. And solution tabs, you can look for all the solutions we have built so far for our clients. So gupshup as a platform has tools for developers and also offers services to to the organizations who requires bot development services. So we develop it for them. So you can check that out as well. So let's go ahead and go to my bot section where we can create a bot, publish it, and code the bot as well. So this is the dashboard. Here are all the demo bots which I have been testing out and building. So you have the name of the bot, then status, whether they are published or they are just deployed on production and everything. Then the mode of deployment, it could be, yeah, in my case ID, because I haven't used any other mode. I have been developing online itself. Then we also offer database capabilities and logs and everything. Publish tab where you can go ahead and publish to more than, I believe, 20 channels which we support. Then monitoring and health, you can enable monitoring where we would be keep on monitoring the your health of your bot, whether it is working or not. And analytics where we'll make check the API call, and this is very basic in analytics. We also have integration with dashboard.io for your purpose and everything. So yeah, this API call is actually for one conversation. So one API call equal to one conversation where bot says hi, where you say hi to bot and bot responds with hello there, then that's an API call. So let me go ahead and create a new bot. Let's say Slack demo bot, and go ahead and next. So as I told you, we provide tools for all people from different fields, like developers and designers, and kind of small businesses. So code your bot, link your bot, coding template and everything contains is actually for developers, where they can directly go ahead and code their bot. Flow builder is basically where someone can design the flow, like UI element and all those stuff, so that this cannot be used by some sort of UX designer or anyone. And then you have pre-built template, where we have a restaurant template which can be used by any small restaurant to get online with bots. So yeah, in our case, we'll just use the code your bot option. So as this takes some time to create, yeah, my bot is created. So let's go ahead and get into ID. For now, I'm just going to say no here. I just said no there because we are coming up with a new ID which will be public soon. Right now it's in beta mode. So this is the ID which is right now by default in production, and you will have all the default code right here. So let's, without doing anything else, let me just push this down and write a hello world code. So what I'm doing is I'm actually reading any message from the user using event.message, and I'm saying that if user says hi, then we'll respond with, we'll send a response with hello world. Now you don't have to worry about all the syntax which I'm actually writing here, because all this has been documented by us in our document section. So here is the ID bot builder, and you have multiple documents to it. You can go ahead and learn about how you can handle conversation, how you can make database, utilize the database, how you can make HTTP calls. All the syntax and everything is provided through our documentation, and then we also have other documents as well, along with the platform supported, etc. So you don't have to worry about what I'm writing right now. You can go ahead and read the documentation and you'll understand this. But let's go now. We have created hello world. I'm just going to for a sec just test this. Yeah, my bot is working. So I'm going to deploy this with one click on production. So this If I do this, it gets deployed on the AWS server and your bot is actually live in production. Now how to test this, right? I haven't published it on Slack, I haven't connected anything. So for that, as I mentioned, we support the complete bot lifecycle. So we have created something called gupshup proxy bot on every messaging channel that we support. So be it Facebook Messenger, be it Slack, be it Twitter, everywhere, so that you don't have to actually publish your bot, and without that you can go ahead and test your bot. So let's go to, this is my team and I have gupshup proxy bot right here. So let me go ahead and say proxy Slack demo bot. And once I do this, the gupshup proxy bot maps itself to my Slack demo bot and it actually mimics the bot. So gupshup proxy bot can mimic any bot on gupshup platform. As you can see there, I'll just say hi and it will respond back with hello world. Yeah. So that is how, a text, sending a text would work. And let's go ahead and add, kind of sending an image, as we talked about sending some attachment, right? So let me just for now say like user want to see an image, and I'm considering this would be the input of the user. So how you can, make a image. So you have to send specific JSON to our platform, then we'll make it work in the backend. So this is actually, the code for it. You can look through it. This doesn't have the image URL, so I already have the image URL with me. So I'm just going to copy this JSON here, and I'm just going to put it here, and I'm just going to send this to the user. Send response. And for this to work, I have to do stringify and image and a return statement. Yeah, and let's go ahead and deploy this. Now I'll go to the proxy bot and I won't again say proxy because the bot is already mapped. So I'm just going to say image, and this should send me a Superman image. Okay, my bad. I misspelled this. Stringify. Yeah. So let's go ahead and say image. And there you go. So this is how you can say, I mean, I chose a Superman image. I'm not sure why, but yeah, you can send attachment to the user through bot like this. So yeah. Now, this is all through proxy bot. Question would be, how can I publish my own bot, right? So I'm going to just go back to my dashboard and let's see how we can publish the bot on Slack. So I have this here, publish tab. I'll go into the publish tab and go to and click the button publish in front of Slack. Now, we have documented all the steps you need to take to actually get this working. So first step is go to api.slack/app. So let's go here. And then let's create a new app. Let's say Slack demo app. Let's say Slack demo app. I'm developing it for my team, and let's go ahead and create this app. Now that's good. Next we'll have to permission. We'll have to set up the auth and permissions. So we'll have to set up the redirect URI. So let's go ahead and go to auth and permissions. Wait for it to load. Yeah, add a redirect URI. So let's go ahead and add this as redirect URI, and you'll have to save the URL. Once you see success, you're set. The next step is like you have to give your bot a username. So let me go ahead and go to bot users and create a bot user. I'll just click add bot user. It says @Slack demo app. Yeah, I think this should be fine. And you can also, add a make it online. Always it will show as online. So you can go ahead and say, yeah, add this as a, and let's save changes, and it says success. So the next step is to set up the interactive message, because as Shohan has mentioned that you'll have to set up a webhook for it. So Gupshup provides you the webhook so that it can read the post request from Slack when the user press the button and pass it on to the bot. So we are going to go to interactive messages and enable interactive messages and add this, and let's say enable interactive messages, and we saw a success. That means our interactive messaging is enabled for this app. Now we just have to you can also, there's an option for the app information where you can add all these things, which you can go ahead and do it in the basic information, but I'm not going to add all these for now. What I'm going to do is copy my client ID, go to submit credentials and client secret. I'm just going to copy this, and welcome message is optional. Now why would you need a welcome message? Whenever you try to do a direct message to the bot, it will automatically respond with something. So for, yeah, I mean, let's just say hello user, right, and submit this. Now your credential is saved. Let me just close this for now. Now you have an add to Slack button, and you can I'm just doing right click and opening in a new tab. So it says authorize. Now this is how where you authorize, and you click on authorize, and this will get added to now this page where it says congratulations, it has Gupshup logo and everything. Now if you want to customize this, there is an option here itself in the publish tab, where towards the end we have given you an HTML format in which you can change your details and submit this. So you can do that so that your users think that this request is coming from your you as a bot developer. So I'm just going to close this. You can explore this later. Now let me go back to I have the Slack demo app, and I have hello user here. If I say hi, it should say hello world, because that's what we have coded for. Yeah, and if I say image, it will give me the Superman image. Right now, let's go ahead and quickly create a bot which actually uses interactive message, and then it also do a currency conversion. So we'll see how to make HTTP calls and everything. So till here I'm just going to remove my code, and if the user says hi, let me just so if user says hi, we will send a will send one interactive message saying, hello there, would you like to convert currency from USD to INR? Let's, for the demo purpose, let's stick to that. So let me go ahead and Slack interactive message. I'm just going to copy the format. So this is a documentation. You can look for more information. You can have text with buttons, and you can also have kind of images and everything into it, which you can explore using the documentation. I'm just going to copy this JSON, which is required, which we will send to the user. So let's say this. Now it says what ice cream. I'm going to remove this and say, do you want me to convert? Let's introduce ourselves first. I'm sorry. Hi, I am a currency converter bot. can I help you in converting USD to INR? And in options, let's say yes and no. So let's do this, and I'm going to just say json.stringify and question, send question. So now as per documentation, if you look here, if someone taps on these button, you get that particular button text as the message. So let's let's go ahead and code for that also. If event dot message equals, let's say yes, then what I'm going to do is context dot send response, and in this what I'll say is please enter the amount, right? So let's test this so far. I hope everything works. Yeah. So let's go ahead and say hi to it. And as you can see, I have the interactive message here with the buttons. So let me go ahead and say, so it asks me for entering the amount. Now if I enter the amount right now, it will not be able to do anything because I haven't coded for it. So let's go ahead and quickly we'll use this API called API fixer to check the rates. So I'm just going to say if. Now since I'm going to enter the amount, it would be all numbers. I'm expecting that for now. So let's do this check, which is in JavaScript. So and if what I'm doing is I'm just checking if it is not a number and negating it. If event dot message, so someone says 100 and it will pick that up. So I'm going to make the API call. Okay. And there you go. And also I'm going to create a parser as well. And I'm going to also create a amount variable which I'm going to set to 0, and I'm going to assign amount here as event dot message, right? And let me just go ahead. Now what I'm this syntax, whatever you're seeing, you can go ahead and look for the HTTP calls. You'll be able to understand what I'm doing. Basically I'm making an HTTP call, and since JavaScript is asynchronous, I'm going to create a function to which the response of the HTTP call goes to. So I'm just going to say function parser and context event. And so now this API gives this JSON as the response. So let's go ahead and say rates equals JSON dot parse, and this will, the event dot get resp is the contains the response from the API call which we are going to do dot, and since it has rates, so I'm just going to rates dot INR, and let's we also have to say final, as we have amount on the top star rates. So I'm just going to multiply them, and context dot send response, the converted amount is let's give a space final, and I'm just going to give INR here because we are converting into INR, right? So let's go ahead and deploy this. Now let me go ahead and enter amount as 100, and it should actually make the API call and multiply the amount and give it to me. So if I run this API right here right now, you can see it says 64.1005, and I had given it 100. So 64,1005 in multiplied with 100 is the 6,410 INR. So yeah, that's it. So that's how you can go ahead, using Gupshup, create a bot, test it out, then publish it, and keep making changes and everything. So over to you, Sohan, for concluding.
Thanks, Jans, for that great demo. By the way, attendees, we are taking questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to send them to me. We've already got one question, which is from Nick, who asked if you can test out all these features on the proxy bot. Good question, Nick. You can test out most of these features on the proxy bot. The interactive messages need to be published first, though, because interactive messages need the redirect URL. So they have to be published first, and only then you can test them out. The other features, such as images and audio and video, can be tested using the proxy bot. Right. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to send them in. And just a reminder that we do webinars every week. We'll be doing one next week about how you can use Gupshup's Java SDK to build a bot. Should be fun. So please do attend. Okay, looks like we are all out of questions for today. Thank you so much for all those who attended, and see you shortly. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.